How did a game from a then unknown Polish studio go toe-to-toe with RPG titans like BioWare and Bethesda? Back in 2007, The Witcher wasn't even on the map. No household name, no AAA budget, just a gritty, unpolished RPG with a weird protagonist and a lot of ambition. But while others played it safe, The Witcher doubled down on choice, consequence, and moral ambiguity. It didn't chase trends, it challenged them. And that's why, nearly 2 decades later, it's not just surviving, it's shaping the future. With The Witcher 4 teased at State of Unreal 2025 and Ciri stepping into the spotlight in the frostbitten lands of Kovir, the saga is evolving once again. But not without risk. With key devs reportedly leaving CD Projekt Red, fans are asking, can this next chapter live up to the legend? Will the frost start to crack? If you're into gaming history, iconic RPGs, and the real stories behind legendary titles, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. In 2007, The Witcher, a gritty RPG from little-known Polish studio CD Projekt Red, to challenge giants like BioWare and Bethesda. With a modest budget and an unconventional hero, Geralt of Rivia, it stood out by embracing player choice, moral ambiguity, and Slavic-inspired lore. Against all odds, it reshaped the RPG genre. Nearly 2 decades later, with The Witcher 4 teased at State of Unreal 2025 and Ciri stepping into the lead role, the franchise is evolving again, now spanning books, games, and a global Netflix hit. But with internal studio struggles, Cavill's departure from the show, and the Cyberpunk 2077 fallout, CDPR faces intense pressure. Can the saga live up to its legacy, or will expectations crack its foundation? The Witcher's roots lie in literature. In 1986, Andrzej Sapkowski submitted a short story Wiedźminto, a Polish magazine, which grew into a best-selling 8-book saga, blending fairy tales, Slavic mythology, and gritty realism. The series gained a cult following across Eastern Europe. Its mature themes and grounded fantasy stood apart from traditional Western tropes, providing rich material for future adaptations. Early game attempts failed, like Metropolis Software's cancelled P-Zone project, but CD Projekt, then a local distributor, saw potential. That bold bet would launch one of gaming's most iconic franchises. CD Projekt, founded in 1994, made its name localizing Western games like Baldur's Gate for Poland. In 2002, it established CD Projekt Red (CDPR) to develop original titles, inspired by its success distributing BioWare's classic, an early attempt to port Baldur's Gate. Dark Alliance collapsed due to publisher Interplay's bankruptcy, pushing CDPR to seek a distinctly Polish IP. In 2003, they chose The Witcher, a cultural touchstone in Poland. Sapkowski sold the game rights for a flat fee of $9,500, skeptical of its potential, and opting against royalties, a decision that later fueled legal disputes. Development began in Łódź with a $300,000 budget, a tiny team of 3 writers and 1 programmer, and BioWare's Aurora engine, after abandoning an in-house engine due to internal conflicts. Launched in 2007 on PC with a $5.3 million budget, The Witcher was set in 1270, following an amnesiac Geralt unraveling a conspiracy tied to the attack on Morhen, the Witcher stronghold. Its branching narrative forced players to choose between factions like the Skoyatel, Elven rebels, or the Order of the Flaming Rose, with choices impacting the story's outcome. The point-and-click combat system, blending swordplay with magical signs, Ard for telekinesis, Igni for fire, Quen for shields, offered strategic depth. The game's Slavic Renaissance aesthetic, with muddy villages and morally grey characters, stood out against the high fantasy polish of competitors. Its haunting soundtrack and detailed world earned Best RPG awards from GameSpy and IGN, with over 1 million copies sold. However, launch bugs, clunky translations, and the sexualized portrayal of female characters like Triss Merigold sparked criticism, particularly among Western audiences. The 2008 Enhanced Edition fixed technical issues, adding polished dialogue and gameplay tweaks. A planned console version, Rise of the White Wolf 2009, was cancelled due to financial disputes with widescreen games, leading to the latter's bankruptcy. Learning from the first game's challenges, CDPR developed Reed Engine, a custom engine with dynamic lighting, detailed character models, and smarter AI. The Witcher 2. Assassins of Kings followed Geralt, framed for King Foltest's assassination, as he navigated a web of political intrigue involving the Skoyatel, Nilfgaard, and the spectral Wild Hunt. The narrative split into 2 distinct pathsiding, with Elven rebel Eorvith in Vergen, or Temerian loyalist Vernon Roche in Kaidwen, offering significant replayability. Combat evolved into real-time melee with dodges, parries, traps, and enhanced signs like Yrden, a magical trap. A streamlined skill tree focused on swordsmanship, signs, alchemy, and combat techniques, while diverse locales like Flotsam Swamps and Vergen's Dwarven Mines immersed players. Selling over 1 million copies in its first year, the game was praised for its visuals, story, and gameplay, but criticized for an abrupt ending, likely due to content cuts during the 2008 financial crisis. The sexualized depiction of characters like Triss continued to stir debate, highlighting CDPR's struggle to balance artistic vision with inclusivity. In 2015, The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt redefined open-world RPGs with an 80 million budget, and Red Engine 3, set after Sapkowski's novels. It followed a post-amnesia Geralt searching for his adopted daughter, Ciri, across war-torn regions like Velen's swamps, Novigrad's bustling city, and Skellige's rugged isles. The story wove political intrigue, racial tensions, and personal relationships with characters like Yennefer and Triss, with player choices shaping kingdoms and romances. Every side quest, from monster contracts to treasure hunts, felt like a standalone story, enriched by Witcher Sensessa mechanic for tracking clues and hunting beasts. Combat was fluid, combining swordplay, upgradable signs, e.g. Igni's fire streams, and an experimental alchemy system for potions and bombs. Activities like Gwent, horse racing, and fistfighting added depth, while dynamic weather, day-night cycles, and NPCs with schedules created a living world. Selling over 30 million copies, it won Game of the Year awards, surpassing Bloodborne and Metal Gear Solid V. The DLCs Hearts of Stone 2015 and Blood and Wine 2016 set new standards, with Blood and Wine introducing the vibrant region of Toussaint and concluding Geralt's arc. Yet, The Witcher 3 wasn't flawless. A graphics downgrade controversy arose when the 2015 release didn't match the visual fidelity of its E3 2013 trailer, attributed to console optimization. CDPR issued an apology and patches to address fan concerns. Development also involved intense crunch, with employees enduring long hours that harmed mental health. Co-founder Marcin Nowinski admitted it was inhumane and promised reforms, though crunch persisted in later projects. In May 2017, Netflix announced a fantasy series adapted from Sapkowski's novels, led by showrunner Lauren Schmidt-Hissrich and a team of notable writers and directors. The project initially flew under the radar, as The Witcher's fanbase was largely tied to CDPR's games, with a smaller literary following. Excitement surged in September 2018 when Henry Cavill, a self-professed fan of the books and games, was cast as Geralt of Rivia, alongside Freya Allan as Ciri and Anya Chalotra as Yennefer. Cavill, known for blockbuster films like Man of Steel, revealed he actively pursued the role, contacting Hissrich and auditioning against over 200 candidates. His passion for the IP, having played all 3 games and read the novels, made him a perfect fit in fans' eyes. Season 1 premiered on December 20, 2019, and became a cultural phenomenon, dominating social media and earning widespread praise for Cavill's portrayal. Fans hailed him as a Geralt, straight out of the books and games, gruff, stoic, yet deeply human. The series' non-linear storytelling, blending Geralt, Ciri, and Yennefer's timelines, drew mixed reactions, but introduced the IP to a broader audience. Netflix confirmed Season 2 before Season 1's launch, releasing it on December 17, 2021. However, tensions emerged during Season 2's post-production in summer 2021, when rumors surfaced that Netflix was recasting Geralt. Reports suggested Cavill was unhappy with the show's direction, particularly its deviations from Sapkowski's novels. Season 2's heavy alterations to characters and plotlines frustrated some fans and Cavill, who valued fidelity to the source material. Despite these concerns, Cavill returned for Season 3, confirmed in November 2021. Speculation about his decision ranged from creative compromises to financial incentives. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Cavill's pay reportedly rose from $400,000 per episode in Season 1 to nearly $1 million in Season 2, and over $1 million per episode in Season 3. While unconfirmed, these figures fueled debates about whether money influenced his stay. In a promotional interview for Season 2, Cavill expressed his struggle to balance the showrunner's vision with his love for the books, stating, "The toughest part for me was finding that balance between the showrunner's vision and my love for the books, and trying to bring that Geralt to the showrunner's vision. All of my asks and requests were along the lines of being faithful to the lore." He pushed for a more accurate Geralt, emphasizing dialogue and character depth over spectacle, but felt the show was drifting too far from the source. Ultimately, Cavill announced his departure from The Witcher after Season 3, with Liam Hemsworth set to replace him as Geralt. in Season 4. Fans were shocked, as Cavill's portrayal was iconic, a dusty, brooding, yet warm Geralt that resonated deeply. Many attributed his exit to creative differences, as the series' liberal adaptations clashed with his fanboy dedication to the novels. Rumors that scheduling conflicts with his Superman role in the DC universe contributed were debunked, as Superman's production hadn't begun by mid-2023, while The Witcher Season 4 was already in pre-production. Cavill himself noted he could manage multiple projects if he loved the material, suggesting his exit stemmed purely from dissatisfaction with the show's direction. In a The Hollywood Reporter interview, he reflected on his approach to acting. "It's about conviction. If you believe in what you're doing, you can keep doing it. But if you realize you're doing something wrong, that's when you stop, because it'll lead you down a dark path." His departure left fans divided, with many hoping Hemsworth, previously considered for Geralt during initial casting, can fill the void. The Witcher saga has faced its share of dramas. Sapkowski, regretting his 9,500 deal, sued CDPR in 2018 for $16 million in royalties, citing Polish copyright law. The dispute settled out of court in 2019, with CDPR paying a reduced sum. Sapkowski also criticized the game's narrative quality compared to his novels, straining their relationship. Internally, CDPR grappled with crunch during The Witcher 3's development, with Iwinski acknowledging its toll on employee health. While reforms were promised, crunch persisted in Cyberpunk 2077-2020, though less severe. The Cyberpunk 2077 launch was a disaster, with severe bugs on PS4 and Xbox One leading Sony to pull it from the PlayStation Store. Lawsuits followed, and CDPR's stock plummeted 40%, damaging the reputation built by The Witcher. In 2021, The Witcher 3's development director, Konrad Tomaszkiewicz, left after workplace misconduct allegations, though an internal investigation cleared him. In 2023, CDPR laid off 9% of its staff during a restructuring tied to Project Sirius and Gwent, prompting the formation of the Polish Game Dev Workers Union to protect employee rights. Announced in 2022 and showcased at the Game Awards 2024 and State of Unreal 2025, The Witcher 4 begins a new trilogy, with Ciri as the protagonist, set in the unexplored land of Kovir. The trailer shows her as a fully trained Witcher, wielding sword and magic-sparking fan debate, as the Trial of the Grasses was traditionally male-only. CDPR clarified Ciri did complete the trial, a lore detail planned since 2014. Executive producer Małgorzata Mitrenga called her a natural, logical choice. Built on Unreal Engine 5 with Nanite, Lumen, and Virtual Shadow Map, the game promises enhanced monster hunting, destructible environments, and a refined Witcher senses system. Scheduled for post-2027 release, it's already in early console testing to avoid Cyberpunk-style issues. CDPR is also remaking The Witcher 2007 in Unreal Engine 5 to modernize it for new players, while developing new Witcher 3 DLC in the style of Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine. Project Sirius, a multiplayer spin-off, was rebooted in 2023 after creative and technical setbacks, while a 2025 Reddit post by user The Gaten raised concerns about lost talent. CEO Adam Badowski noted that over 100 Witcher 3 devs remain, supported by new hires. The success of Phantom Liberty and The Witcher 3 next-gen update shows CDPR's continued resilience. The Witcher evolved from a niche Polish IP into a global icon, bridging books, games, and TV. The Witcher 3's 30 million copies sold set new RPG standards, influencing games like Horizon Zero Dawn and Assassin's Creed Odyssey. The Netflix series expanded its reach, turning Geralt into a household name and reviving book sales. Its Slavic roots and morally complex storytelling offered a fresh take on fantasy, resonating with global audiences. Yet, the franchise faces hurdles: Sapkowski's legal disputes, CDPR's crunch culture, and Cyberpunk 2077's rocky launch. Cavill's exit from the show due to creative clashes highlights the challenge of cross-medium adaptation. With The Witcher 4, a remake, and new projects ahead, CDPR must balance ambition with stability. Can Ciri carry the torch? The saga's future depends on learning from the past, while staying true to its gritty, choice-driven roots.